Hi, wrestling fans. Thanks for clicking today's Strategy Rose Report. Man, I wish it would quit raining around this area. Boring. All right, got a lot of wrestling news, though. Sit down. North American Wrestling Rankings blog, which is be a horrible job to do. They keep track of TV stats since they've been doing that for the last 9 years, I guess. Anyway, they've got a report out on Sheamus. Said when Sheamus defeated Roman Reigns by countout on, it was July 6th episode of Raw, it was the 200th television singles victory for him. And the Celtic Warrior is the first wrestler to win 200 TV matches. He was just over the fourth winner for 100 matches back in 2011. And others getting close to that milestone. July 15th, July 8th, 2015. Randy Orton has 197 wins. John Cena with just a mere 188. Am I surprised? Anyway, Sheamus says, he tweeted, he says, first superstar to notch up 2,000 television single wins victory, in WWE history, you say? It's the greatest of all times. All right. This is kind of interesting, too. Back in late June, I think I might have told you guys about former WWE and ECW talent Nicole Bass. She was arrested for shoplifting more than $1,000 worth of goods from a store in Queens, New York. Well, Bass reportedly put over 160 items into her purse and left the store without paying. I couldn't find 100. She must have had American Tourister luggage she was carrying around for her purse. But anyway, Bass appeared in court and agreed to stay out of trouble for 6 months, only 6 months now, and attend counseling. After she met those terms, the case will be dropped. Anyway, shortly after the arrest, a friend of Nicole Bass, Joey Boots, I like that, set up a GoFundMe account with a goal of $1,000. Well, anyway, in just 10 days, 156 people donated a total of $3,275. Boy, boy, boy. That don't put a good spin on don't you do bad things. All right. It was believed that the other night's victory, I think it was a couple of nights ago, the NXT episode would feature Samoa Joe taking on Axel Teicher, but the match didn't air. The match will likely air next week, unless it's a dark match, you never know. But anyway, in case you missed it, it was Finn Balor taking on Kevin Owens for an NXT title from Tokyo that was on the show instead of that one. And as noted, week 3 of Tough Enough on the USA Network drew about 1.2 million, up from last week at 1.0 million. Hosted, by Chris Jericho, mentioned it. It says, how last night's episode of WWE did the highest ratings yet. Things are getting good. See you next week. Well, anyway, now according to Wrestling Observer newsletter, though, sources at USA Network indicate that to officials that they believe pro wrestling's popularity is cycling down, which indicates a decline in ratings. Well, ever since the 90s, 80s and late 80s and early 90s and stuff, it's been going down ever since the wars ended. But the reason it was for the last few weeks because of vacations and stuff. Anyway, regarding disappointing numbers for Tough Enough, it was noted of Wrestling Observer that USA feels the format Tough Enough with how they don't like the way it's taped and live just isn't working because it doesn't give Tough Enough judges enough time to make a fair decision, and fans are only given a few minutes instead of a whole day to vote. And they feel this turns off the audiences and leads to a poor word-of-mouth buzz. What's leading to a poor word-of-mouth buzz is Tough Enough is nothing like it was. All right. WWE and Mattel began their presentation at the annual San Diego Comic-Con today. Oh, well, I think it was yesterday now. Scheduled to appear is going to be Kevin Owens, Charlotte, Sami Zayn, Sergeant Slaughter, William Regal. WWE is going to be covering the entire panel, which doesn't feature Slaughter on the Periscope app. I haven't really heard too much of anything going on. But anyway, Cameron posted a statement on Twitter for her fans saying that we won't see a lot of her on the new show of Total Divas because WWE Creative is working hard on plans for her. Guess they're talking about the wrestling plans. So I watched Total Divas the other night. It wasn't too bad, but I like the behind the scenes stuff that goes on. And they get a little kinky every once in a while on there now. They're trying to get the ratings up. All right, mentioned, what was it, Wednesday, I guess, on my report that OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, down here in Louisville, Kentucky, is being sold. Well, Danny Davis, Nightmare Danny Davis, not the referee, started out in Memphis wrestling. Anyway, he's selling the company to, I don't know, just wanting to get out of the business. I forget how long he's been there, but here's what I found so far. I think they're holding off until the show that they taped last night airs on TV, but a little inside info. Previously reported by longtime owner Danny Davis announced that he's going to be selling the company to someone new. And the announcement would be made at the next television taping, which was last night. So there was some speculation that this could lead to an angle in the company, but Davis announced at the latest taping that longtime announcer Dean Hill was the new majority owner, and he says he got a 7-figure offer from a lady. This is what Danny Davis said, but he wanted to leave the company in good hands and someone who had been there. Dean Hill has been there forever on color commentating, but he was back in when my son used to wrestle there. I forget when that was now. He and Jim Cornette was the dual announcers there. But anyway, I guess he's talking about Dixie must have offered him a 7-figure thing. If she did, no checks. That's what I'd tell her. Hey, a new episode of Talk is Jericho features ECW original Raven and Chris Jericho's son. And Miz and Maurice, they're attending ESPN's 2015 ESPY Awards in Los Angeles next week. Season finale of Jerry Springer, WWE Too Hot for TV on the network is now available. It's the final, the season finale. Synopsis says sex sells. Well, we know that. That's why ratings are down. And WWE NXT diva Gianna Daddio is getting more time in the ring at live events, as this Lena Fannin and other new diva recruits is coming in. Gianna and Lena, there you go, defeated new recruits Jesse and KC at last night's NXT live event in Largo. All right, what else we got here? Oh, back in late June, WWE Hall of Famer, I mentioned that Bruno Sammartino, he turns 80 in October, underwent back surgery after being hospitalized for a few weeks. Wrestling Observer Newsletter reports that Bruno has started feeling unsteady on his legs while in San Jose for WrestleMania 31. Bruno was walking in his home just over a month ago, and his legs just gave out, causing him to fall. Anyway, Bruno got up, but this week one leg ended up being swollen twice the size of the other. So Bruno went to the doctors and had several tests done, and they wanted to operate on his leg. However, Dr. Maroon, who has been a personal friend and physician of Bruno's for years, wouldn't let the other doctors operate on the leg because he found that the damage was in Bruno's back. Bruno was in and out of the hospital for about a month before getting the delicate back operation for Maroon. And Bruno's been out of the hospital for over a week, said he's doing really well. Bruno's not using pain medication, but it's noted that he's not in too much pain. So Bruno still walks with a walker and has been increasingly his distance of walking each day. Hope he'll be walking on his own soon. ECW original Sabu, he continued to work indies around the United States, but he's got 2 broken bones in his shoulders, according to PWI Insider. A doctor recommended that Sabu retire but he boarded a plane and went to Europe for more indie dates instead. sound like my son, just won't listen. In a video, Jarrett talks about Global Force Wrestling and reveals the name of their new TV show that's going to be airing is GFW Amped, A-M-P-E-D. And the first GFW TV taping will take place July 24th from Vegas. No word yet on when it's going to air. Dustin Rhodes Goldust has a new role in has a role in a new movie called The Murders of Brandywine Theater, and it's now available pay-per-view, I guess, on or DOV if you got that. Hey, thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.